Hey everyone, it's Teresa with Jeremiah Dreams. I hope everyone is doing great tonight. I'm trying to get all of my settings right, and I still hear feedback, and I can never figure out why. But we are going to do the best we can, and I'm going to ignore the feedback. I hope you're not hearing the feedback. So come on in, say hello, and I've got a project I want to share with you guys that's been on my mind for a little bit. And actually, I am going to switch to so that you guys can get a much better view. And I'm going to have to pull my camera over and let me show you. Here we go. So, I need to say though, let me start this by saying I am here to, hey Peggy and Lisa, I'm so good to see you guys. I'm helping out my girlfriend Sherry, who is recovering from hip replacement. And I'm going on her Facebook page. I'm going also on my Facebook page and on YouTube because I'm trying to maximize all the things. We got to do that these days, don't we? So come on in, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, and join in on the conversation. I am getting ready to do a project that has been on my mind for several weeks, and I haven't been able to get rid of it. And I thought, I'm going to start it tonight. I just got to dive in and do it. So let's get going. And if it's okay with y'all, I'm going to increase the size of my screen and keep me minimized. But you're going to see this camera right there in front of my face. So it is what it is. I probably have to move it around some more, but it's the only way I can get it to where y'all can see well. But hi, Casey, not sure if it's on your internet, but you're getting an echo. That's good to know. Okay, let me try something. Bear with me just a moment. Hang on. Can you hear me? Let me know. Let me know if you hear me. Can you hear me okay? Give me a thumbs up or yes, I can hear you. I'm hoping that's better. So you can still hear me, right? I hope I can remember what I did from one time to the next. So, you guys, I have this hymnal. Let me show you this hymnal I have. Let me grab it. I have this really old hymnal, y'all. Look at this. It's very weathered. It's oh good. I'm so glad y'all can hear me. Hey Regina, how are you this evening? This hymnal is an old, it's like paperback, but it's really I don't even know what it was. It's not leather, it's not parchment, but look, you guys, I found in here, look at this. It's copyright 1914 and 1915. Is this not cool? I just love it. So look at this script work right through here. I just love that. It's beautiful. I've been wanting to pull a hymn out of this, and I can't find the one that I want to use. But I went to a different hymnal, and I found this one. Do you guys remember this hymn? What a day that will be. Morning, Kath from Australia. It's so good to see you. Y'all, I'm going to put this hymn on this canvas board, and we're going to paint some very symbolic and special flowers. Sharon, you're familiar with this book. It's amazing. Y'all, I just love old hymnals. So here's the thing. I cannot, because I'm a musician, I cannot bear to tear a single page out of this hymnal. So I made a copy on my printer so that I could cut it up and I could paste it and I could do some cool creative things with it. So I'm not trying to break any copyright laws or anything. I want to be very clear, but I just can't bear to tear it out of that old hymnal that's from the 1900s. Isn't that something? So I've printed it out, and I'm just going to cut away these white edges, and we're going to get right down to just the hem. And I may have to trim it just a little bit more. We'll see how it fits on the canvas board. So here's my thought. I need to come this way a little bit so it's even. I want to paint on here forget-me-nots and maybe some lily of the valley. To me, that was very symbolic of heaven. Y'all, we just had a death in our family over the past couple of weeks. And I started thinking about this project. right about that time. And I just knew this was something I needed to do. Now, I know so many people are very much into tearing the edges. Maybe I should have done that, but for me, it didn't feel quite right, so I just cut it, okay? Y'all, I found on Amazon, hey, Sherry! I found on Amazon, they have some double-sided scrapbook paper that looks like music. And I thought about ordering some of that, but I really want the title of this hymn. Let me do this before I put this hymn on there. I'm going to take off my edges. This is something that I prefer to do, and I like using frog tape. And I'm going to do maybe about 1/4 of an inch. Y'all, I just kind of eye it. I can kind of see the border underneath. And when we get done, doing this step is going to give it such a nice finished look. Hey, Teresa. Oh, Kath. Well, you guys, I appreciate that. It was one of my dearest cousins' dad that passed away. And she's like a sister cousin kind of thing. We grew up together. They grew up. We all grew up right across the highway from each other, played with each other on a daily basis, rode the same school bus. You know, it's one of those situations. And her dad was 90 years old and passed away. And ever since that happened, I've just had this on my mind. And I hope it turns out as well on the canvas. Y'all, you know how it is. You get these images in your mind, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. But we're going to give this a good try. And it probably won't get finished tonight. I'll probably have to come back and do a second live to complete it. But I thought we could at least get a good start. I'm going to raise the camera up a little bit so you can see the entire surface. And hopefully that will work pretty well. Okay, so we've got our hem. And it's going to fit very well. It's just right inside the tape. So the first thing I'm going to do, find my Mod Podge. Y'all, I'm in my studio. I've been working so hard to get this thing finished. And it has been, y'all, I about killed myself this weekend. Not literally, but you know what I mean. It's just hard work. And when you're only handyman. Now, my son-in-law helps me. He's really good. Oh, y'all, I forgot water. Don't go anywhere. I have to have water. I can't believe I forgot water, but I forgot water. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. Excuse me, Baxter. You guys, I am so sorry. I thought I had it all together, but I didn't have it all together. So let me put some paper towel. I got some right here. Please forgive me. Oh my goodness. I'm on your page and my page, Sherry. Cross posting. So hopefully you are on your page watching me. All right. Now we're going to Mod Podge this music on here. Thank you. I'm glad you like this setup. I'm telling you, and you know this, Sherry, too. It is a chore to figure out how to get all the text stuff just in the right place. So, y'all, I am using a program that I really enjoy. I get a lot of compliments when I use this program, but I've been told, and I hear both ways, that Facebook doesn't care for it, and I've heard that it's okay too. So I don't know. I just decided I wanted to do what was best for me and my audience, and I'm just going to do it. So there you go. All right, I am just Mod Podging this on here. And it's right within the frog tape. I think I know a little bit more right there. Let me get another brush. It's like this edge over here just needs a little bit more. There we go. Let me turn this around. I probably should have ironed this on. I wasn't thinking, y'all. I've had a Monday. It's been a Monday all day long for me. How about y'all? It has been a Monday. I'm like, oh. You have those days where you just want to say, I'm just going to go home and go to bed and throw the covers over my head. Yeah, that's my day. That's how I kind of felt. But you know what? I was thinking about this project and I was really looking forward to it. And I thought that's going to be my bright spot today. Coming on here, helping out a girlfriend and doing this cool project. So thank you for sprinkling. Something seems off, only showing 9 people. 9 people on your page. I see about 25, 24 altogether, Sherry. So I don't know. But I know that there's some other things going on tonight that have probably a lot of people watching, and that is perfectly fine. I thought about waiting till they were over, but it was going to get really late for me. And I thought, I'm just going to go ahead and come on here and do my thing and just enjoy anyone who wants to show up, right? That's what I say. Kath sees 19. That's good. I'm not worried, y'all. I mean, please continue to share and tell your friends, tag some friends even, specific friends that you think might like to see what's going on here. Let me dry this. And y'all, this will have some wrinkles in it, but I'm okay with that because I think it adds to the vintage aspect of it. And so I'm good with it. But I'm going to paint on top of this some forget-me-nots and some Lily of the Valley. And what was I going to say? I think it's going to be just fine. Try to get this dry. And one thing else I want to do is I'm going to paint the borders of this. And I've got a very pretty color up here. Let me just grab it real quick. Hang on. There we go. This is plaster. And I'm going to edge this while this is curing a little bit. And hopefully this is going to add to the whole look. It'll tone down this white. And I'm going to even bleed over a little bit. And see, with the frog tape there, I don't have to worry so much. And I don't mind this paint getting over on the music because it kind of adds a little bit of something to that. This song was written by Ben Spear. If you're familiar with gospel music, he was like a legend in the Christian gospel music industry, the Spear family. When I was a kid taking piano lessons, I took lessons one time from a lady who was not a Spear family member, but she performed with him quite often. Oh, Sherry, you are so welcome. Thank you, guys. Now, don't mind the green frog tape. That's going to come off. Now, one thing I'm going to do is I did go online, just so you know, and print some references of what these flowers look like that I want to put on here. And I'll show you my references. This is Lily of the Valley. Let me hold it up a little bit closer so you can kind of see. I wanted to see the shape, how they react to the stem. You see they kind of droop, how they look in clusters. It's very important to get the shape of the little flowers so that it doesn't come out looking like baby's breath. Okay. Then these are forget-me-nots, and they're just precious. They're small, they're clustered, but these are really zoomed in pictures. Kind of a more distant picture that shows you how they kind of cluster up. So I'm going to do a combination. I think I could do a pretty floral arrangement of the two. And I'm going to use my friction pen because this is disappearing ink. And I'm going to lightly just kind of sketch out where I think I want to place these flowers. Because I kind of have sort of an arrangement in my mind, but it's important to get your placement right. So I'm just going to kind of, this will kind of mark on here. I'm just going to sketch out. This is like a leaf. I'm just kind of doing placement. There's nothing major in the way of detail about this. But I want to know where my leaves are going to be in comparison to my little flowers. And I'm just going to kind of do some of this through here. And then we'll get, and the thing about this pen is it shows up well. You may not be able to see really well, but it's going to disappear when we apply the heat to it. So I'm going to have some Lily of the Valley up in here, and I'm going to put my little forget-me-nots kind of in through this area. And this will evolve. I'm looking for center placement and balance is kind of what I'm doing. And I want to pay attention to how their little leaves are. They're going to be much smaller. We're just going to have some of those going on. So we'll just wing our way through that. All right. So that kind of gives us a nice start. I'm going to go ahead and pull my palette around. Let me make this real quick. Bring my palette closer. All right. Now I want to pick out, I'm going to use, I'm trying to think of, I need a round brush. And I'm trying to see which of my round brushes I think are going to serve me best with some of this. This one will probably be a good start. It's not too small, but it's not too large either. So I'm going to start with this one and just kind of base in some of these leaves and flowers and such. So I'm going to start. This is a pretty bright green. This is actually Christmas green. And I'm finding that this Christmas green color is excellent for some leaves. I'm just going to take a little bit and put it on my palette. Y'all, I'm having to learn less is more. Now, again, this is going to take more than one session, but this will give us a wonderful start. And I'm telling y'all, I just can't get this project off my mind. So when you got something like that that sticks with you, you got to do it. You got to do it. So how's everybody doing? What have y'all been into today? Oh, you guys. Thank you, Sherry. I'm constantly trying to improve my skill, improve my view, my eye for it. And it's just something that you constantly have to work at and practice. So I'm just placing in, and I always paint from the back and toward the front. I'm going to go ahead and put another leaf right in through here. And hopefully we can add some folds in there too. It's going to need more than one coat. So I'm going to dry this. Sherry's been painting a birdhouse today. So Teresa, I am thinking I'm going to add this to my collection. This will be my third hem project. And I will probably offer cards and prints in my Etsy shop if it turns out as well as I hope. Oh, Lisa, I'm so sorry about your back, girl. I'm so sorry. Okay, let's see if we can add some more paint on this. Nice base coat, and then we'll start adding in our flowers. We'll go back and also add in some shadow and highlight. I have had a busy day at work, and y'all, it's hot. It's honestly, here in Huntsville, it's not as hot as it's been, but it is still hot. Ooh, it's just miserable. See, I kind of like the wrinkles in there, and I think even as we add more detail, those will become less and less. But I kind of like because it even adds character to the leaves, so that's why I was not very worried about that at all. Okay, let's get this dry, and then we're going to add in a little bit of detail to these leaves. And you guys, when you're painting, I think it's so important not to get in a hurry. Um, enjoy the process. She had Lily of the Valley in her yard. That is so cool. Sheila has to stretch every day. I'm telling y'all, I have problems with my lower back, and I think that's been part of my issue this weekend and working on my studio. Um, and I think too, I need to lose weight, and I think that would help. But it's hard. Been praying about it too, y'all. I'm like, Lord, can't you just take away these cravings? He hasn't answered that prayer yet. Oh my goodness. So can y'all see okay? Let me know if this is a good picture, if it's clear. I would really like your feedback. I am going to take, I've got some white and some black on here, and I'm going to mix this green and white together for my highlight color. And I'm going to add that in areas that I think would have light striking it. So I'm kind of going around some of that outer edge. And it helps to define the leaves also. And I'm hoping I can make some of them look a little folded too. We're going to try. I'm going to give it a shot and see what happens. I've been wanting to learn how to double load my brush, and I've been practicing, but I've been watching a lot of videos about how to do that, but I do not have it mastered yet. Is it looking good? Good. Oh, good, Regina. Thank you, guys. I'm glad y'all can see well, because I don't always know if what I see is what you see. You know how that goes. So I just want to make sure. Making sure y'all have a clear picture. So I've mixed some black with this green, getting a nice dark, deep green. We're going to use this for some shadow effect. And I want to be a little easy with it. I'm going to go right along this area. And I'm just going to blend it out. Like so. And we want to get the bottom side of this area. So if you guys are interested, I do have a monthly workshop. It's just $12.95 a month. And we do a project. I teach how I do these techniques with the shadow. I'm going to pick up a little bit of green right through here to kind of help blend this. So if you'd like some information, let me know in the comments and I will send you the link. So I'm going to get a little water on my brush, because when you're using acrylics, a little bit of water is a great way to blend colors together. It gets it moist enough so that it just gets rid of those lines and just kind of gives you a nice blend. Just like that. I'm going to go back through here, kind of marry these colors together. And get a little bit of water. Get a nice blend. And you don't want to put too much water on your brush. You really just want to have a moist brush. So that's how that's looking so far. Teresa says, Monday you're having a stimulator for your lower back place. You couldn't have a fusion of the 4 vertebrae. Oh, bless your heart. Okay, Teresa, I will send you a link. I sure will. I'm going to put a little dark right in the center because I want to make this leaf look folded. And I want a little darkness right here next to this other leaf. I want some depth right through here. We'll see how this goes. I'll be adding more color to kind of enhance that. And then we'll pick up some of the green and kind of blend it in there. I'm going to get some water and blend that, and then we'll probably have to add. Linda wants info too? Okay. I would be glad. I'd love to have y'all in there. I am getting ready to send out the references. Well, I've got to put it together first. I try to do that the first week of the month, as close to the first as I possibly can. But this is going to be kind of not really a back to school, but it's going to be school related, but you're going to love it. You're going to love it. It's going to be a good project to learn some good techniques, and I'm excited about it. I'm adding just a little more highlight through here because I really want to get this folded effect. I'm kind of enhancing that lightness. We're just going to kind of let that marinate a little bit. And then we'll come back and add some more dimension to that too. We'll get this underside of this leaf. And I wanted a little fold in through here. So we're adding that depth. I'm going to pick up some of the other green. Blend that in. We're going to let that sit, and I'm going to see how I feel about it. Y'all, sometimes I have to do a little bit of it and come kind of see what adjustments need to be made. So there's the leaves so far. Let's get these dry. Hey, everybody. Sherry's sharing that she had a fusion 11 years ago. Oh, bless your heart. Hey, Jessica. Sherry, girlfriend, I'm still waiting for you to join, sister. But I know you've had a lot going on, girl. No worries. I need to get this leaf right through here dry. Now, one more thing I want to do before I go into putting in my white flowers. I'm going to get some of this caramel. I love this color. This is just a nice golden brown kind of color. Hey, Rula. I'm so glad you're here. We're going to use this. And I'm just going to take my flat brush. This is a size 5. And I'm just going to tip it and offload. And I'm just going to go right along and tap in right along these leaves. And I'm just going to drag, offload some more. I want to drag that color out and just blur it, kind of. Because I'm trying to create a shadow effect to get it to lift off. I'm going to get my brush wet and blend this some more. Just like that. I just kind of want kind of a just subtle, let me hold it up here. Just a subtle shadow right through here just to give it some lift. You see that? It's very subtle. I do want to also add, where's my brown? Here's one. We'll just use this. This is Espresso by Deco Art. And now that I've got that little bit of shadow right through there. I need to use, I want that one. I used to have a really small detail brush. I think I need to get some more. So I'm just going to wet this. This is a number 2 rigger brush, and it gets a really nice point on it. But I want to pick up just a tiny bit of brown on that brush. I'm going to go right along this leaf and just add that extra little depth. Y'all, this is so fun to me. So you've got that extra little depth, and I'm just going to kind of pull that color down a little bit where it will blend right into that caramel. Pick up just a tiny bit of caramel right through here. And I'm going to rock between my flat brush and my little round brush. So that, look. Oh, Teresa, thank you. Oh, Rula, thank you, my friend. I don't know if that's right or not, Rula. I did invest in some nicer brushes because I was really struggling with getting some of the effects that I wanted out of my, typical brushes. And I'm just dabbing in and dragging out some caramel right through here. I'm going to turn this around a little bit because I really want these leaves to lift off. Y'all, I have felt so tired, but right now I'm feeling better. Y'all make me feel better. And I'm not going to go all the way down. I'm just going to let this color kind of sit like that. All right, I'm going to take my rigger brush and get just a little bit of brown and just where that caramel is, add a little bit of that espresso color right up against that leaf. And then I'm actually going to go back and pull that color out toward the caramel. And take my flat brush. I'm going to blend that like so. And I'll hold this up closer to the camera for you here in just a second. I'm going to turn this a little bit. I'm just going to pull that espresso down, just kind of tapping it to pull it out. And y'all, it dries pretty fast because there's not a lot of paint on my brush. Just kind of blending the espresso and the caramel together right through here. But look what a difference that makes. What do you think? Oh, you guys, y'all are so sweet. See the dimension. Oops, I'm off camera. Sorry about that. It just pulls it right up. All right. Get some more caramel. I'm just going to tap it right through here. Pull it out. Y'all, blending is a big deal. Yeah, I think I've got too much. Let me offload. I need a little more water on my brush so I can get a good point. There we go. I've got a lot of water on my barrel too now. I'm just going to kind of outline with espresso. So if you guys would sprinkle this out and tag your friends, that would be amazing. Let them know Sherry and I are here. We desire to use the gifts the Lord has given us to, well, I just think, y'all, I think when we have gifts, that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to share it with others. Thank you, Sherry. Yeah, it does pop, doesn't it? Yes. I need to get me um, a new detail brush. I think because the bristles are so small that they don't last a long time. I'm just going to kind of pull this out. I want a little more color right through here. And you can just keep working with that color a little bit and it'll come on out. Just a little espresso. And the reason I'm going with a darker right up against the leaf, if you think about when two objects meet and they begin to create a shadow, there is a fine line of true, real darkness if they're touching. And then um, it kind of fades out from there. So that's the effect that I'm going for. I'm just going to pull that out. And not every shadow is the same. Each one's going to be a little bit different. Hey, Jen, send me a PM. Yes, ma'am. Hey, Brenda. I do not yet. I just got my Amazon affiliate back just the other day. It might have even been over the weekend. And so I've got to get that together. I had an Amazon affiliate link before, and then I needed to make some updates to my website. And so now I've got it again, but I'll go in and get those links and put them in the comments when we're done. Let me go ahead and get some espresso. I'm just going to outline, y'all. When I get in these fine details like this, I get quiet because I'm concentrating. All right, I'm going to take my flat brush and blend this out. So I've got some things in the works, or in the brain, probably is a better way to say it. I'm wanting to put together a calendar of some of my paintings for 2022, and I'm getting ready to release Christmas cards. All right, so I feel like these leaves are pretty good. Oh, June, thank you. Oh, Rula, listen, girl, I understand. Y'all, I work 2 jobs and plus this art business, plus watch my granddaughters for a little bit just about every day. So I get you. When we're talking about being busy and such, oh yes, I get it. Okay, we're going to start adding in our little lilies of the valley here. I think I'm going to start, however, with the stems. And what I want to do, so I'm going to get this rigger brush wet. Okay, and I'm kind of offloading some of the water. And then I'm going to pick up some of this green, and I want it to be thin. I'm getting it thin with some water. Okay, don't want it watery. I want it thinner. I want to offload. I've got too much on my brush. And I'm twirling it to get a nice point. Okay. All right, so I got to think about where I want these flowers to be. So I'm going to kind of come up through here. And if you notice, these stems are rather curved. We're just going to make some of these little arches like so. Okay. I got to think about too how far down the stem these arches come. All right, so there's that one. I think we need probably one through here to kind of have us a nice balance. But we got to remember kind of how the stems react. Do they truly curve? When we get into these areas, what direction are the stems taking? So I'm going to keep it kind of straight. and not go as tall as the last stem. And then we're going to kind of do some of these arches. And I know y'all probably cannot see these arches. I'm not sure I'm going to be able to by the time it's all said and done. I'm going to have to probably let's add some lighter green to it. I've got a nice, this will also help us with placement because I know it's hard to see. So Jessica, you can't see all the comments because I'm broadcasting, ooh, that was way too much, on 2 different Facebook pages and on YouTube. So I'm adding some light green. I think this is wasabi. I love saying that word. And I'm just adding it, using it as a highlight color. Y'all, tonight we may only get these Lily of the Valleys done, maybe. We'll see. Let's see. And I'm just trying to stay kind of light and fluid with that. So let me hold this up so you can kind of see how that stem is coming along. There you go. So Rula, I do have a reference. I printed off several pictures of forget-me-nots and several pictures of Lily of the Valley so that I can have a reference to see kind of how these flowers, how they're shaped, where the shadows fall. And so I kind of look at that to see different angles. And I print several of the pictures because I need several different angles of so that I can see how light is reacting to it and shadow. And that's kind of how I'm doing it. Okay, I'm just going to use this highlight color to kind of place all this. All right. And these leaves are pretty big. I mean, look, so just so you know, look how large those leaves are compared to the stems and the flowers. So that's why it looks like this, because that's what I'm seeing in this reference. Yes, I try not to copy, okay? I try to be respectful of another artist or photographer's work. But I will say this, when you're learning, I think as long as you don't resell it, it is okay to copy and until you get a little further along and you learn. I'm just kind of coming along beside this wasabi color with some of this Christmas green and just kind of, I'm not covering up the wasabi, but I'm kind of going along beside it as kind of a shadow color. So I've got some stems there. So let's put in our little white flowers. And I believe, let's see here how I want to do this. I'm probably going to just stick with this rigger brush because it is kind of fine detail. And I'll just start over here with these sweet little flowers. And we're just going to make a little cap. They've kind of got a little flare to them. And y'all, this is going to be dainty, but I think it's going to be precious. This little flower. So I'm choosing these flowers, forget-me-nots, of course, because we don't want to forget our loved ones who've passed before us. And then I chose Lily of the Valley because Christ is the Lily of the Valley. So I wanted y'all to see the symbolism in my project as well. So I'm tapping in a lot of this shape. I need to add more flowers because they are pretty much in a cluster. So I kind of got my outline there. I'm going to kind of go back in. And then it'll take a second coat, and then we can add a little shadow detail. Especially on this one right here that's against this parchment color, it's going to need some detail, shadow, and such so that it will stand out. But these are almost like little bells, cute little bells. I'll put one right through here. We're going to let this dry for a minute. We'll come back and we'll add more coats. It's gonna, sometimes you have to build a color up. Red is a color that you have to build. When you first apply the red, it's going to be pretty light, pretty pink. And you've got to just keep layering it in there until you get the depth that you're needing. What do y'all think? Can y'all see the little flowers beginning to pop? What kind of brush is this? It's a very fine tip. Yes, this is a number 2 rigger. It's a Zen brush. The Zen brushes, they're an investment. They're not like crazy expensive, but they are more expensive. It's a good quality. But now these other brushes, this right here, I got these on, I bought the Zen brushes on Amazon, and I really like these brushes too. These are Zhuting, Zhuting, and I've been very pleased with these brushes also. Thank you guys. I'm glad y'all are loving this. That just tells me I was on the right path for this project. Y'all, it takes patience. I think that is so important, not to get impatient with your work, but to slow down. Y'all, we live in such a crazy, busy, hurried world that I think it's so good to find something that causes you to slow down. I remember one time in one of my workshops, I was teaching about how to look at shadow and how it's shaped and highlights and all that. And one of my students said, you know what? I never noticed shadows like you've explained until you went over that in our project. And she said ever since then, she just doesn't look at shadow the same way. Now, some of these are so light that we're going to have to add shadow and detail in order for you to see them. Because even as they dry, they're transparent. Let me hold this up so you can kind of see. See how these are pretty transparent? Well, we're going to have to build that color up, and then we're going to have to add shadow behind them so they'll pop off. Did you really, Rula? That is interesting. Oh, thank you, Linda. Thank you, Teresa. Y'all, I just so appreciate y'all. I'm telling you, it's been Monday. Whew. Yes, it has. All right. I'm just kind of touching them in here. So tomorrow night, I'm going to be interviewed on Who's Got Mail, MEL. And I meant to have already had that graphic on my page, and it's just not been possible today. So I'm excited about that. I'm kind of nervous too. I'm like, what is she going to ask me? I don't know. So if you didn't catch it, by popular demand, I shared a song Sunday night. It's kind of a little Vespers Devo thing. And if you want some encouragement, go over there and watch. Just laying in, because these these little flowers are very much in clusters. So I'm just trying to get a nice cluster on each stem. Let's see, probably need one through here. And they're just shaped like little bells. All right, let's go back over here to where we started and let's build this color some more. And then we're going to need to add in some shadow in behind them so that you'll be able to see them, so they'll pop off the page. But the color is building. Now when you get over here on top of the music part, it fades, you know, it's not as noticeable, but we're going to put shadow behind it and you'll be able to see. I think these are rather sweet. And the stems are going to have to do the same because they're hard to see too. So we definitely don't want to lose them in the process. See, I'm kind of just tapping it in. I'm not really brush strokes, or I'm just kind of tapping that color on there. They're so dainty. I love dainty flowers. I'll be glad when I can start some landscaping at my house. It's just been too hot. And then it takes time and money, and when you work all the time, there's just no time. And I bet they don't put any of that stuff on sale this fall. I don't know. Okay, so here's what we've got so far. What music is this? It's the hymn, What a Day That Will Be. Oh, it was definitely a Monday for you too, Rula. Hey, Elsie, how are you? Hey, Valerie, I'm so glad to see you. Oh, I'm sorry, Jessica. Yeah, this flower is Lily of the Valley. And then we're going to add some forget-me-nots. Let's see. We've been on here almost an hour, you guys. Let's see if we can get some shadow going on. Let's see. How do I want to do this? I'm trying to think. I'm thinking. I don't know that I want to go pure black. I may need, let me get my flat brush. I don't want it gray, too gray. My paint was drying out a little bit. I don't want it pure black, but I don't want it too gray. I'm just trying to get some black over here to kind of a little less black than black. Does that make sense? Ooh, that's a nice color there. Let's offload that. Bye, Linda. I'll send you the link, girl. Thank you, June. Okay, let's see if we can add. I'm going to use the rigger brush. I'm just going to continue with that because it does give a very nice fine line. All right, let me get some of this water off this barrel so it doesn't run down. Now, let's see if we can't put a little shadow behind some of these sweet things so that they will kind of stand off. But here's the thing, I don't want to outline them. So I'm going to take my flat brush. I need a smaller flat brush. I know I've got a smaller flat brush. Oh, it has so many brushes. I want to blend it because I don't want it to look like it's outlined. Get a little water on here. I don't want a lot of water. I just want a little bit of moisture. I want to be very sparing with this shadow color. This is going to be tricky to not look like I'm outlining. So we're going to take it slow and a little bit at a time because it'll want to dry quickly. But we just want just enough to give a little bit of contrast. This is where you have to be patient with yourself. Put a little more white. And y'all, sometimes the brush gets away from you and it's okay. Happens. See, I've even included a little bit of shadow on that bloom. Can you kind of see a little bit of difference there? Right, Michelle. That's right. But with this contrast against that paper, it's a little trickier even. Let me try even adding, since you said that, it made me think. Let me try to add a little caramel in here as well, just like we did on the leaves, and see how that helps us. I know my hand is right in your way, but I'm hoping that's going to add just enough. There goes Baxter chasing one of the cats, and he's barking at one of the cats. Get a little more water on my brush. Pick up a little bit of caramel. This is very fine, very tedious. Water also kind of helps you erase. So that's some of what I'm doing as well. I don't know if y'all can kind of see that top part. Color pencil instead of paint. That's a good idea. Very good idea. We are almost an hour. So you guys, we may have to just pause here, and I won't be able to come back tomorrow night or Wednesday night, but let's see, probably Thursday night I can, and we'll pick up this project where we left off. Y'all, I'm being so very easy with this black, like just touching it on and then just kind of dispersing that color. Then once I get the shadow laid in, I'll probably go back and enhance some of the white and the green just so that I don't lose it, because it's also very thin. So it's just going to be kind of a process. And then go back and we'll add in more details on the flower itself. We just got to get that shadow in there. Trying to use some of my residual color. Yes. Water, it makes a very good eraser. So like right through here, where I feel like I'm losing some of the green, I'm just going to pick up more of this green. Ooh, I have a lot of water on my barrel. Hang on. And here's another little tip for those of you who may not know. If you dry your brush, like if you've had water run down onto your piece, dry your brush and it will soak it right up. So I'm just kind of going back and enhancing some of these stems that can get lost in all of this detail. but I don't want to cover up all the shadow work. Here we go. So y'all, I'm going to have to kind of leave off from right here. Honestly, my eyes are a little tired. Good. And her clear wax. I know, Sherry. I can't wait to finish it too and see how it all turns out. I'm like, y'all, kind of holding my breath, seeing how it's all going to turn out. So really, you've learned that paper towel, yes, for sure. If you can kind of just tip it in there. Hold it up so you can see a little bit closer. But y'all, we made some really good progress. I think it's going to be sweet. And get those pretty blue, purple forget-me-nots going on in here. And I think it'll be precious. All right, you guys. And on that note, we're going to say good night. And y'all, watch, if you're not in part of my Telegram, I'll put that in the links or in the comments, excuse me. And we will get back together very, very soon. Try to get this right over the picture. So anyway, good night, Regina. Thank you, Rula. Thank you, Regina. So you guys, thank you so much for being here and for helping Sherry out. And y'all keep her in prayer as she recovers. So you guys have a wonderful evening. Get some good rest and have a great day tomorrow. And I will talk to you all very soon. Good night.